and welcome back to your daily dose of Harry Potter. So in the first 3 chapters of Chamber of Secrets, we meet Dobby, and I know the others have talked about him. The only thing I really want to raise with Dobby is his first line, which is Harry Potter. That's the first thing he says. I just want to put that out there. We actually get my favorite line right when we first meet Dobby. And my favorite line from these 3 chapters is very simple, and it's, hello, said Harry nervously. The point I want to raise here is just how trusting Harry is, you know, even with his awful upbringing and everything he's been through. I don't know about you, but if I walked into my room and saw a creepy creature that had been following me sitting on my bed, I would panic immediately. I would not be friendly or greet it. I would start screaming and run away. And I guess Harry just panics a lot less easily than I do. And he just says hello. Elves themselves are obviously very prevalent in all kinds of folklore, all kinds of literature. And there isn't a whole lot of consistency to them in all the stories other than they're generally magical. Sometimes they're very tall, and sometimes they're very short, and sometimes they're enemies, and sometimes they're very friendly, and sometimes they're beautiful and wise, and there's all kinds of different interpretations of elves. And I love that J.K. Rowling went with kind of a comedic, endearing version of the elf, the house elf. They're short, and they're weird looking, and they're usually very funny to watch. Not always, but usually funny. In Chapter 3, we get to the Burrow, and we really see kind of the life of the Weasleys. And I love this whole chapter just because we're really immersed in day-to-day life for this couple, for Arthur and Molly Weasley. And while there are magical elements and things like that that are different from our lives, there's still dishes to be done, still misbehaving children, and long days at the office, and it's a life. And I like that J.K. Rowling puts all this in there just to make the Weasleys themselves seem so much more human, so much more real, so much like they're just another family that you would know. Here at the Burrow, we also see for the first time one of my favorite objects in Harry Potter, and that's Molly's clock. The clock that shows where each member of her family is at school, at work, in mortal peril. And I love this clock because it really shows Molly's character. It kind of shows that she is the ultimate caregiver. At any time of the day, she is always looking out for her husband and her children, and that is her main function. And that is who she is at heart. Like most of the series, there are a lot of very funny things in these chapters, and they're very comical chapters and a lot of laughter going on, but there's still at least 2 things that are very dark about it, and that's also consistent to the series, that under all this comedy and fun, there's always darkness too. And the things that I want to raise here are, first of all, Harry's imprisonment. Amanda talked a little about that being imprisoned in your bedroom and only being allowed to come out when you have to go to the bathroom, like Karina said, that's a very dark concept. It absolutely has crossed the line into abuse. The other thing is we're introduced to house elves and their system of punishment, where they have to punish themselves. This is a very dark concept. It's not just corporal punishment, but self-inflicted corporal punishment, which is almost psychological. And that's kind of a scary thought. So obviously we know that there are dark things in the magical world, but it's not always, you know, just outright evil people trying to take over the world. Sometimes it's things that happen in homes, for example, the Malfoy's home. That's a scary thing. Well, that's all I have for this week. Join us in the next week as we tackle chapters 4 through 6 of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.